Black Friday is like the Super Bowl of marketing. Shoppers spend $6.3 million per minute online last Black Friday. So if I know they're spending, why would I not put my name into that pool of choices? Black Friday is not just putting a sticker on something that's on sale and come get it. What you're offering is just a bunch of old stuff with dust on it. Just simply having something on discount on its own is not enough. We created urgency, we created demand, we created interest, we created excitement in the marketing. Last minute marketing for Black Friday is not going to be effective. Hello and welcome back to Ambitious. Today we are talking all things Black Friday. We are about a month or so away from Black Friday, and I wanted to dedicate an episode to this because number one, it is something that I have looked forward to every year. I would say from a marketing and sales perspective, Black Friday for me and for many of my clients is like the Super Bowl of marketing. And that is because there's such an incredible opportunity to generate sales during this time. But obviously, that's dependent on you knowing how to leverage that, knowing how to market during Black Friday. What should I be offering? What is the promotion? How do I sell it? For how long? We're going to answer all those questions for you today. So, this is really for you if you are either number one, someone who has done a Black Friday promotion, but you feel like it didn't quite get you the outcome or the result that you were hoping for. And you really want to know going into this Black Friday that you have a really good structured plan. Or maybe you're somebody who's never partaken in Black Friday before and you've never participated and you're thinking, I'd like to, but I kind of have no idea where to start. Regardless of which of these two camps you fall into, today's episode, we're going to break it all down for you. I'm going to be talking about the significance of why purchasing and spending and marketing is at an all-time high during Black Friday. We're also going to talk about the two different ways to promote. So if you want to promote to your existing clients, offers that you can do there, as well as ways to promote to your outward audience. We're also going to talk about the 4 different levers that you can place within your marketing to create natural urgency during this window and during this time. And with that, I'm going to break down a promotion calendar for you, as well as marketing triggers and messaging triggers that are specifically significant and impactful during this time of the year. They're very time sensitive messaging triggers. So, with that being said, today I want you to think about as like your Black Friday masterclass. So, if you are interested in leveraging a Black Friday promotion, this is going to be the episode for you. Okay, so with this, let's get a little bit into why should we even care about Black Friday? And I have had there's 2 camps that people usually fall into, right? You've got camp number 1, which is the person who's like, I'll take any opportunity to market or to launch or to do a sale or promotion. You've got the other side, which is like, I don't want to take part in Black Friday. I feel pressured to take part in Black Friday. I don't really care about it. And here's what I want to say. Do whatever feels best for your business. This is not me telling you by recording today and sharing this with you that this is me telling you you have to take part in Black Friday. If you decide that you're like, just with the year you've had and the things that have happened, you just don't have the capacity, that's okay. And also, if you are someone like myself who continuously, as like an annual thing, wants to take part, that's okay too. Don't have this be pressure to partake. Let this be an invitation and an education around Black Friday so you can really make an educated decision as to, yes, this is what I want to do, i.e. partake, or no, with all things considered, I'm going to sit it out. Either way, let's talk about significance of Black Friday, because I think so many people think, oh, it's just another promotion, right? It's just the same as like the whole like New Year, New Me, or kind of like a Boxing Day sale, which they have in Canada the day after Christmas. So do I really need to partake in this? Let's drop into some of these stats because they're kind of mind boggling. Number 1, did you know that shoppers spend $6.3 million per minute online last Black Friday? $6.3 million per minute last Black Friday. Okay. And with that, it has been shown that 75% of consumers are planning to shop specifically online versus in store when it comes to purchasing during that time. Also, there is a keyword search that has increased by 419% during that time, specifically looking for Black Friday promotions, people searching to see what people have on sale. And with this, we are also seeing that this is across all of the different age categories. So you might think to yourself, well, I, help an older audience or I help a younger audience. Does this matter depending on what I'm selling or who I'm selling it to? And the short answer is no. There is a equal amount of Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, baby boomers, all of which are spending online during this time. There's also, and you might even have some of these people in your family, people who will during this time in, the duration, for example, of October or even sometimes earlier, they will look to wait until they see a Black Friday sale because they're like, oh, well, I know I need to buy it. Let me see if something's on promotion for Black Friday. And if it's not, then I'll purchase it. So there is no question that during this time, we as consumers are primed to buy. We're primed to purchase. And my personal philosophy around Black Friday is if I already know that my ideal client is going to be spending, so that's not really a question because we have data and we have stats to tell us that there are people in my niche, in my category and age demographic and looking to solve the problem I solve, they are spending. So if I know they're spending and if I know they're investing and I know they're looking for support, why would I not put my name, i.e. slash my business, into that pool of choices that they're going to be choosing from? So for me specifically, I've always looked at it as an opportunity to make sure that if they're purchasing, that I'm part of the consideration within that purchase by doing a promotion. Now, there's two different ways that you can promote or do a Black Friday promotion. Most people think about Black Friday in the context of marketing, right? We see all this really kind of like fancy, intricate marketing that people do, these really fun campaigns that a lot of different businesses will do. And that's what we consider to be external Black Friday promotion, which basically means you're using your existing marketing channels, whether that be email, podcast, social media, it doesn't matter. You're using your external marketing channels to be the place in which you're generating new business and generating new revenue. But I think the other side is something that most people don't talk about a lot, which is also looking at how you're going to leverage Black Friday for your inner circle, meaning your internal audience. Internal audience can mean kind of two tiers to this. Anybody who is a kind of exclusive member. So for example, you might have a private community that you do that's free. You might have an exclusive Substack. That is something that is a very, long-term nurtured community. You may have, for example, like Ambitious, we may have something specific just for those that are subscribers to the show. So with that, you can have this subsection of people who are already very committed to you. So there's that kind of category. And in internal as well, there's what's the easiest to think of with internal, which is your paying clients. One of the things that we know is that a lot of businesses are built and scaled off of retention and not acquisition, which basically, long story short, means that you're not going to just build and scale your business off of new clients every other day. You also need to ensure that you are getting a good retention rate with clients and keeping them in your world. So when we think about knowing that with scaling and knowing that retention is such an important piece, it ties back to the fact that we need to ensure that we're selling to our existing clients. And I know that that might sound weird. You think like, I'm selling to my existing clients, but yes, you are. You're selling and promoting to your existing clients because truthfully, if you have good retention and if you have upsells and continuation and things like that inside your service or your offers, you're already selling to your existing clients, or you should be already selling to your existing clients. So this should be no different than your invitation that you do in other parts of the year to continue to work with you. The only difference of an internal promotion for your clients is the fact that there's an aspect of this which is time sensitive. So you do something that is fun and different and exciting specifically during this period. Now, regardless of which of these two categories you want to use for yourself, whether you want to do, for example, a promotion for your forward-facing audience, if you want to do a promotion for existing clients, or maybe you even want to do a promotion for both, with that, you want to recognize that November is kind of an interesting time of the year because all of us want to know going into the following year, that you have a good steady amount of cash flow. There's never anything worse than going into Christmas feeling like you want to just kind of relax for the holidays, sit back and kind of like lean in and just be present. And then you think in your mind, oh my goodness, I need to bring in some sales here. I need cash. I need to sell. And for me, I think for my business specifically, we take multiple weeks off in the month of December. Like I don't market and promote, I don't sell, I don't do anything within my business. I take them off. And the reason that I'm able to do that is because of our Black Friday. And that is because basically in November, we use this promotion to be something that allows us to be able to generate a surge of revenue that brings us into the next year. So we've been doing this for multiple years over now. And this brings us into the next year because this allows us to stack sales, which ultimately allows us to stack cash flow going into the next year. So with this, I've personally also found it to be, from a business perspective, so supportive because it meant going into the new year that I'm not like freaking out about needing sales. I've already given myself even more of a buffer than needed because I've done this promotion and the timing of it when it was. So I just find that there's so many benefits from a data perspective, knowing people are already buying. You can do this for your existing audience or like your internal clients and your private communities, or you can do it for your marketing. And there's really no limit on what it is that you can do within this. So often, a question that I get is like, Kate, what do I offer? I would love to partake, but I don't really want to create a new offer for this. I don't want to feel like I have to like rush to scramble something together. And I would actually say it's easier to leverage a Black Friday promotion with an offer that's already existing, that you already have, versus something new. And I'll tell you why, because I think when we try to go into Black Friday and you're trying to promote, but you technically have an offer that nobody's ever heard of, there's no trust with it, people have no idea what results it produces, like it's kind of a big question mark to everybody. You're going to need to spend some decent amount of time leading up to that to get buy-in on the fact that people, number one, want this offer, and two, that this need that you're looking to put in this offer is well timed with the time of the year. So, for example, if you are somebody who is selling, for example, lose weight or fitness coaching, you're going to have a harder time doing that on December 12th. Okay? That's just a time of the year thing. It's not a sexy time for people to say, let's go on to a meal plan. Now, January 1st, or even after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's onward, you are going to have a surge of people who are like, this is the year. I'm ready to do it. Let's go. The mindset is different. So, what we also want to consider in thinking about, do you want to do a new offer or do you want to promote something you already have, is you want to think through, do I already have trust around something like this? Do I already know that my audience wants to solve this problem? Do I feel like this is something that I want to create versus do I know that this is something that they've been asking for or that they need? These are all things we want to think about. I personally am more inclined for most of my clients. Some have launched new offers around Black Friday, but I would say 85% of them are launching something that their audience already has like no trust with. They've already got some data around it. They already have, clarifying of messaging that's going to land for it. There's a lot of things that they already have a knowing of. So because of that, it leaves less question marks basically for the promotion that they go in to do. But when we think about the offer, the thing that I would say is the offer itself can be literally anything. So we have done VIP days on sale, we have done masterminds on sale, we've done courses, we've done for you services, retainer clients. I have done for you service providers who do like a 1 week deep dive service. They've also done those before. So there's a wide variety of different types of services and different types of individuals who've promoted during this time. So the question becomes, what would those look like? So one of them, for example, is, let's just say you have a bunch of digital products, or maybe you have course products. You could look, for example, at doing a bundle that is never typically offered, but only offered during Black Friday. You could also, for example, have, as I said, a new offer that you promote. So let's just say you're someone who always has long-term commitment offers with you. Maybe you want to think about offering something short term. Maybe you want to think about, if everything with you is 6 months, Maybe you offer something that's a 1 hour or a 2 hour type of experience or a 1 day experience, something shorter than you typically do the rest of the year. The other thing that we also see is that people will look at taking anything that is long term and locking in another renewal of that. So let's just say you're a service provider and you have people that are on 6-month contracts or 3-month contracts. You can also create an invitation to have people to lock in their next contract with you. So you can do that by saying, if you lock in today, we're going to obviously continue and honor the price for the next contract. You can also say by locking in today, we're going to be offering an aspect of a bonus. So something added value wise. You also potentially could offer a small discount for certain services for people who lock in for X amount or longer. So there is literally no shortage of what you could do when it comes to what you offer for, again, either your existing audience and your existing clients versus your outward audience of marketing. The kind of I would say core triggers that we see that most people fall into in some way, shape, or form, though, fall into 4 main levers, which is number 1, price is going down, which is a discount, right? So if you are someone, let's just say, who has an offer, it's always been $3,000. It's never gone on sale. This can be the opportunity for you to say it's on sale for a limited time. So even digital products are notorious for this. They'll often be, like a $2,000 offer, and for a limited time, they're $1,497. So you save $500 off, but it's only available during Black Friday. After that, it goes back to normal price. So there's a lot that you can do when it comes to discounts. And even if you have someone who's already in a offer, let's just say if I have someone in my mastermind and they decide that they want to, let's say I want to promote my VIP days. Well, if I have my mastermind and I want to promote my VIP day, I can say, hey, if you're a mastermind client, we're offering our VIP days for a third of it, 30% basically off of what the traditional investment is, just because you're a client, but it's only available during Black Friday if you want to lock one in. So again, you'll see there's a million different ways you can maneuver this, but discounts is a very commonly used in promotion trigger that people activate, which is a kind of natural form of urgency. The second is kind of the opposing to a price going down, which is the fact that the price is going up. This is something that I will tell you I personally use as my time of the year, that if I am going to increase the price on something, which I don't necessarily every year, but if I am going to increase the price on something, this is the time that I'm going to do it, because it really helps people to know that if they are, for example, wanting to work with me in, let's just say, the new year in 2026. I'm like, what year is it right now? 2026. If someone wants to work with me in 2026, and I'm like, hey, if you already know you want to work with me and that you've been eyeing this offer, eyeing this experience, know that if you want to lock it in now, you can get this year's pricing, but start next year. So that kind of, again, is an incentive for people who are like, okay, I really know that I've wanted to do this. The price going up can sometimes, for some people, be a invitation that now is the time. And it really plays in the same button that people push when it comes to discounts. And that is because there is actually a specific type of buyer, and maybe you guys know some of these people in your family. There actually is a specific type of buyer that they have to feel like they are getting something in order to feel inspired to spend. So what that means is I have to feel like I'm getting a discount. I have to feel like I'm getting added value. They have to feel like they're getting something as a kind of an incentive to cause them to want to take action. So for some people, it's the fact that the price is lower, but for some people, it's the activation to know, oh shoot, this price is going up. I should probably get it now before it increases. You'll also see promotions, as a side note, just like this, when people are in the founding round of a business. So if you've ever seen a business that's new and they say our founder's pricing. So gyms, for example, do this. When you're part of their initial launch of gym memberships, they'll give you, let's just say, a gym membership for $50 or $100 a month for what traditionally might be $200 a month. And that's because, again, they're letting people know the price is going up after this date. This is also something that we see really across all different industries. Even when you think about e-commerce, you'll see a lot of people who will have pre-orders, right? So you'll even, let's just say, concert tickets. When concert tickets first go on sale, typically those are lower priced for the first pre-sale tickets. And then after that, they open up to the general audience and they become more expensive. So the thing that I would say is that, remember, this is not like a Black Friday only thing. The way that we are promoting during this launch is using classic marketing psychology, classic buyers and sales triggers. Like, these are all fundamental principle based approaches. They're just ways of tailoring it to a Black Friday launch specifically. So remember, there's two categories: launching to your internal and your external. So again, it might be external audience. Hey, my course is on sale. We're offering a discount on it. And maybe, as I said, for internal, maybe you want to say, hey, if you're an existing client and you want to buy this other offer I have, we're offering it on sale for anyone who's a current client if it's a complement to your service. Now, here's the thing I just want to mention as a side note with marketing to your existing clients. Do not market your existing clients something that solves the same problem as the thing that they're currently in. It is the most important rule that you need to know about marketing during Black Friday and how to leverage Black Friday for anyone in your existing audience. That is because none of us want to be sold to when we just bought in something and feeling like, I just bought this and now you're telling me I need something else to solve the same problem. You want to ensure that if you're marketing to somebody who is in your world, that you are really conscious of, does this person have a different experience with another offer? Is there a different problem solved? What is different about investing in this versus what they're in? So, to my example of the mastermind and offering them a VIP day, that is a totally different type of experience. It's designed to be intensive and it's designed to be in person, whereas a mastermind is more of a long-term experience and it's obviously not in person. So because of that, there is a different experience with one versus the other. So it's really important that you don't basically sell something to somebody that is identical to what the experience is that they are already in. Now, there are 4 levers, as I said. So, number 1 is that the price has decreased. There's a discount. 2 is that the price is going up. So, the price is going to be increasing soon. Third is that there are limited spots available. Now, here is my PSA. Do not, in your Black Friday, say that there are limited spots available if there are not limited spots available. If you have unlimited spots, do not say that there are limited spots, because it is the most, number 1, it's out of integrity. And 2, it's the most frustrating thing for people to see when they know that there technically are unlimited openings. Let's just say you have like an evergreen offer and you have unlimited openings. Don't say that there's not unlimited when there are unlimited. Instead, if you actually want to have a limited spots only, and let's just say you have an evergreen program or a service that's kind of always available and you'll take as many people as possible, what I would recommend is have a certain amount of people that you're willing to offer the Black Friday to. In that case, while your service, yes, can technically take tons of people all year, you're only offering the Black Friday promotion, let's just say, to the first 10 people. And after that, the service goes back to normal. So that means that your service and your promotion are being promoted on the basis of spots instead of time. So, like, it's not like, oh, we close doors on Black Friday. Instead, you're like, once these 10 spots fill up, that's it. Now, the most common that I think can apply to everybody is the 4th lever, right? So we've got price is going down, discount. Price is going to be increasing, so the price is going up. Third is limited spots available. And 4th is the added value or bonuses. So I like the 4th for basically every single business, because many people are going to be incentivized to purchase even if there's no discount when there is something added value. So, for example, I just had somebody close to me who their laptop died and they went to Apple and they went to go buy a new MacBook. And with the new MacBook, they got gifted, when they purchased during this specific time, they got gifted a new set of the Apple AirPods. So that is a classic situation of added value, right? It's like, if you buy a coffee today, we're giving a cookie with anyone who buys a coffee today. Boom, added value. Like, if you are somebody who's out in the world, you are seeing added value marketed to you every single day. And while we're not conscious of it a lot of the time, there is a good opportunity most times where people are going to want to spend because they see that they're getting more for what they're investing. So, this is something that I've seen across every industry. I've helped services with this, courses with this, consulting with this. All of them have been greatly supported by the added value lever. And that is because there's not a single buyer who doesn't want more stuff for the same investment that they once were paying. So, the thing that I would say with the added value or the bonuses is that this being impactful is not about you just giving stuff away. Okay. The key indicator of whether this will be successful for you or not is whether you give away something that they value or whether you're giving away something you don't want. Let me repeat that again. If you are going to do added value, you are not giving away something you don't use or you don't want. You are giving away something that they deeply want. That is the most important thing because I will tell you, I watch people's Black Fridays and their promotions and their marketing. And you and I both know those creators or businesses that you feel like they're just like emptying their junk drawer of their business. Like it just feels like they're promoting, yeah, I have that random course that's been sitting there. I'll just throw that up and throw a promotion on that. And I have this download thing that I have. So I'll just like whip that up as a promotion. We are finding that people are just basically emptying their business junk drawer and putting it in marketing. That's not a Black Friday promotion. Added value to be effective in marketing needs to be something that the ideal client deeply values, that they see as something they care about, because if they don't, it being added on is not going to make them want to invest. So that's why I often will see people who say, I did a Black Friday promotion and I did promote, but the crazy thing is I offered this and I offered this and like no one took me up on it. And I look at them and I'm like, that's because what you're offering is just a bunch of old stuff with dust on it. Like it's not what the person actually wants. This is just something that you've, you know, whipped together and you're throwing out there. So the thing that I think is important when we're looking at which the levers, which is a discount, the price going up, limited spots available, or an added value or bonus, the important thing is to understand why is now the time for someone to buy. And there's only two ways that you're going to get someone to buy during this time. And we're going to talk about the second one as well. Number one is to create an aspect of offer urgency. Okay. So those four levers that we just covered, those are offer urgency. They are a reason that the offer specifically that you have right now is going away because you have a discount on it, the price is going up, there's limited spots, or you have an added bonus that's not usually available. Those are all centered around how we can make the offer more sexy, more enticing, right? When we are marketing, when we are, pushing and promoting during this time, the other thing that's also important to remember is there is a seasonal aspect to this. Okay? So in marketing, and I'm going to kind of go high level here for a second. In marketing, what's important for you to know is that there's marketing triggers and principles that never change. Okay? So there are things that are always going to be effective in messaging. They're always effective, for example, in content and in creation and media. They're always going to be effective in conversion. There are just principles of marketing and of sales that are true and tested, and they never, never, never change. Now, with that though, there is an aspect of marketing which is time sensitive. So let's go back to our fitness example. If I want to promote fitness coaching during a time when no one's excited to get fit, I have to market differently during that time of the year to acknowledge what the person is thinking, feeling, or experiencing, right? So we know within marketing messaging, it's all about someone feeling seen. It's all about people feeling like I see exactly what it is that you're navigating and going through. I see what you're experiencing. I see what you're struggling with. It's about people within our marketing feeling seen. It's very difficult for people to feel seen if the messaging you're putting out isn't acknowledging the time of the year and what specifically they're going through at this moment in the year with their problem. So, what I like to do is I like to consider in what gets them to buy, adding messaging triggers. I'm going to break these into two categories for you, okay? When we think about why someone buys right now, there's the time of the year as the reason they buy, but there's also with that typically an emotional trigger as to why someone's going to buy. Let's start with the time triggers, okay? So this is basically some different things that you can put into your marketing that will help people through your Black Friday promotion to feel like, okay, like I got to move now. Now's the time. Even if you're like, you know what? I'm not doing a discount. I'm not doing added value. I'm not doing limited spots. I just really want to use really good, juicy marketing to get people activated. Okay, great. These are some of the triggers that you can put within your marketing to do that. Number one is the end of year reset. So, for example, this would be not rolling into the new year, feeling behind, and setting yourself up right now to start the year already ahead of the game. This is something that many people, you probably in most services, honestly, I can't think of a single category right now where this wouldn't apply. There's no shortage of people who want to feel like they're the classic scenario of new year, new me, right? Like it's a thing that we've always heard of, that we've always seen people talk about, and that you shouldn't put off your change. You shouldn't put off your development. You shouldn't put off your success. And there are people who know that. And so we can market to those people to ensure that they feel seen within our marketing. So even for me, like when someone says, like I want 2026 to be the best year I've ever had, my question would be, why are we waiting until 2026 has already started for you to get a plan for 2026? Right? So I can ask those critical questions within my promotion or within my marketing to talk about why is now in, for example, the end of November, start of December, this like time frame. Why is now the time when someone should be saying yes to themselves or to their business? Or for you, what you offer, why is now in the middle of Black Friday time frame? Why is that the time for someone to invest with you? Specifically, that time. Not just to invest with you in general, specifically at this moment in the year. Why is that the time? And the end of the year reset basically means that you're helping people to acknowledge that if they have a goal for the following year, why are we waiting to take action on that? Maybe we should just be pressing go on that and we should be saying yes and leaning entirely all in. So, the end of the year reset messaging is basically speaking to and acknowledging to your audience that we should not be waiting for future goals when we have the ability to commit to them now, to take action on them now, and to potentially even make progress before the new year comes. The other one that is also an important time trigger is the regret that people have from inaction. And this is something that I would say like almost every industry again can resonate with. Like you care about your books and doing your books for your business when tax time comes. Why are we waiting for tax time and for you to have that scary oh my gosh moment again that you're behind and you didn't get this stuff sorted when you could do it right now and not relive last year? Or like for me when someone says, I really want to scale this year or I really want to rapidly grow. If you know that, why are you waiting 90 days when the last 90 days haven't proved anything different for you or for your business, right? Like, why are you waiting to get consult? And I think the main thing with this specific messaging trigger is speaking to how are they going to feel when they've lost the time? And are they really okay with losing that time? So, like, especially for certain services, for example, I have an incredible client who does SEO and Pinterest. And I remember from the beginning had said to me, she's like, Kate, the thing is with SEO and Pinterest, it's not like an overnight thing. Like, yes, if someone had like a pin go viral or something, sure. But like to have the best success, they really need to be working with me for like 6 months or longer. And so, for example, in her industry, as someone who does the service of SEO and Pinterest, the best results with her are happening in 6 months. So if the results start to happen within 6 months and you keep pushing off and pushing off and pushing off investing with her, that ultimately means that you're pushing off the growth that your account could be having, right? It's like another example would be the stock market. The stock market, when you put your investments in, especially when they're kind of like a slow burn type of investment, they're not super risky. They require more time being invested in order to have them grow. This is why, the wealthiest people will say like they start investing for their kids like the day that they're born. And that's because there's time that compounds these things. So there's a million analogies that we could give, but really the thing that we want to look at is speaking to how has someone maybe already regretted inaction in the past? And how, if they don't move during this time, are they potentially going to regret yet again more inaction happening on their behalf? So that's kind of the regret from inaction is another trigger specific to time. Now, the other time one that I use, for example, in my own marketing even, is the buy now, start later, which is really for me specifically, and I'm just going to speak from my experience. I have had many Black Friday promotions, and I hear and have heard the same thing over and over again, which is the fact that many women are like, Kate, I had a year. I had a year. I had a serious year this year. It was either really great and they've been grinding and they've been having great success, or they feel like they got stretched this year and they're kind of like, I don't have it in me to do more stuff and to keep building and growing and scaling and just more and more and more. So their whole thing is, I really want to take advantage of Black Friday, but I don't want to start right now. And so I kept hearing this. And I also have a lot of moms that I support who will be like, the holidays are crazy with the kids and family and travel and all of this stuff. Like, I just don't see that I'm going to have capacity. And so it was interesting. So when I heard this on one of the first Black Friday promotions, I was like, okay, great. Well, then, like, we should be acknowledging this. We should be leaning into this then. And so what I did is I literally created our promotion, which is considered to be the buy now, start later, which is that you can lock in our Black Friday promotion and our Black Friday quote unquote sale in the end of November. And with that, you don't have to actually start using it until the new year if you don't want to. And the reason that I did that is because I knew that there was people again who wanted to lock in that price, they wanted to lock in the bonus, they wanted to lock in working together. There's so many things that they're like, I want all these, bells and whistles you're offering, but just not right now. So what we did is we basically allowed people to start their payments with us effective as of joining during Black Friday, but their actual service with us, meaning like the start of their providing of service, didn't start until January of the following year, right? So that for us has been something that many of our clients have taken advantage of because they recognize that having a little bit of space to breathe over the holidays is what they prefer. So I thought, okay, well, if they want the offer and they also want to breathe over the holidays, let's make sure that we have something that supports them in both of those actions. So that is the buy now, the start later. The other one that I would also say is the idea of emotional triggers. Emotional triggers are not quite the same as time triggers. Time triggers basically are, why should someone invest specifically right now in this time of the year or in this moment? Emotional triggers are thinking about, what do most of us experience emotionally during this time that we feel would land for us, that we feel would activate us in some way, if we were to have this marketed to us. And so one of those is the cost of doing nothing. And the emotional trigger of the cost of doing nothing, I don't think a lot of people speak enough to what it looks like to not act as much as they do to what it looks like to act. So, for example, like when someone markets to you, they're often going to be marketing like, this is where you could be, this is the results you could have, you could be this person, you could look this way, you could have this outcome. Like they often are really going to be promoting to you the new dream. But you know what nobody talks about enough is like, where will I be if I don't change anything? Right? Like, and really making us as consumers, I'm like, listen, I'm not alone in this. Even other people's marketing gets me when they do this, which is like, say I'm like, oh, I want to be fit. I really want to get super healthy this year. I really want to be super fit this year. But then I'm deciding that I'm not going to do anything about it, or I'm like just going to push off investing into that. Well, the question becomes, if that's the case, where are you going to be in 3 months if you don't do anything? Where are you going to be? What's your reality going to be? How are you going to feel? What you're going to be experiencing? And you want to really show people the time that they cannot get back. And it's important because I think in marketing, there's always this kind of la la land that we live in. Like it's all just like dream and fairy tale. But there's also the person that I trust the most, that I want to invest with myself, is the person who gives me reality, which is that the reality is, you've been saying, let's just say I want to sell fitness coaching. You've been saying you want to get fit for 2 years. You've been saying you wanted to, shed the last, I don't know, 10 pounds for 2 years. You've been doing all the things. You bought the new sneakers thinking that would motivate you. You signed up for the new workout class at the gym, but then canceled last minute because you wanted to sleep in, or it wasn't a good time, or it was a tough day at work, or a tough day with the kids. So you thought, I'm going to get a home gym. And then you got some weights for the house and you got a treadmill and you thought this is going to be the thing that makes things change. And then eventually those weights just started catching dust. So, like, it's when someone can really vocalize where you are and saying, like, how much longer are we not going to get something that works for you? Like, it could be how much longer are you going to keep spending trying things that don't work for you? How much longer are you going to waste time doing things that don't work for you? Like, there's a million and one ways that we can phrase this. But I think the invitation is in the messaging and the marketing to say, what is truly for your ideal client the cost of them not doing something about this? Like, they have a problem. What's the cost of them not changing it at all? Two is the identity shift. And this is something that I think not enough people trigger on or kind of push the button of within their marketing, which is when you sell somebody a product or a program or a service, remember that when you sell them that product or service, you're not selling them just the product, you're selling them the person that they become when they use that product. Okay? When you buy a product, you buy a program or a service, you are getting somebody bought into the next level identity. So even if someone was going to market to me starting this podcast, they're not marketing to me the equipment, the editing, and all of that. They're marketing to me becoming a podcaster, being a podcast host, right? Like if I'm bought in on being a host and the identity of having a podcast, I'm bought in on the process of having a podcast. So if I am bought in on the version of who I'm going to become, or the results that I'm going to have, or the identity shift that's going to happen as a result of investing with you, if I'm bought in on that, I'm going to be bought in on spending. If I don't feel bought in that you're helping me to tap into the identity of the person, the business owner, the outcome, the individual that I want to be, and this can be in anything. It could be like, who do I want to be in my health bucket? Who do I want to be in my relationship? Who do I want to be with my finances? Who do I want to be when it comes to my business? Who do I want to be as a marketer, as a salesperson, right? Like, who do I want to be in these buckets? You should be marketing just as much the progress of their identity with buying your product as you are the product itself, because most people are buying into the future version of themselves. That's really what they anchor into and that they see value within. And so with that, you want to ask, what is that identity for you? That person who's investing with you, who do they become? How do they operate differently as a result of you being in their world in whatever way that looks like? The other thing that really a lot of us don't like, especially I will say a lot of, if you have driver buyers in your audience, this is going to really trigger for them. None of us like wasted potential. None of us like knowing that we have the potential to do more or be different or the potential for greatness in some area, and we're not doing anything about it. And so you want to hit on the trigger as well of how much further could somebody be if they did this? How much further could they have been 6 months ago if they had done this? And I think that that's important because we don't market enough to the fact of where are people not going to tap into their greatness if they don't end up doing this investment or if they don't end up working with you, right? So if that's the case, where are they not tapping into? Where are they missing their own potential? And the reason I say driver buyers will love this is because there are a lot of people who I think I would say for most people, they want to hit potential in every area of their life. Like none of us want a mediocre relationship. None of us want a mediocre my health is okay, right? Or like none of us want mediocre finances or money, right? Most of us want to live comfortably. We want to feel like we're not stressed about money. We want to be fit and be able to run with our kids, or maybe it's a certain physique thing for you. You want to have a relationship where you get home and you're so excited to see your partner and you're just like lit up by them. Like there in every bucket of our life is this desire for our potential and our greatness. And I think number one, you should be holding your audience and the people in your world to that greatness and to that potential. But second, you should be showing them in your marketing, what does it mean to not hit that? What does it mean to not achieve their potential or the growth that is possible for them? And it's not something that I would say I see enough people marketing to. And I think it's a really easy thing for someone to connect with that many of us have inside of us. You can also hit on what's considered to be the invisible competitor. So, this is where someone else you're kind of noting is already getting your results. So, the invisible competitor as a messaging lens is basically if you've ever seen, if you've scrolled on TikTok in any way or Instagram, you'll probably see one of these motivational videos. And you'll say, well, the person beside you is up at 5 a.m. and the person beside you is like at the gym and the person beside you is like out doing this. What are you doing? Right? Anything that poses someone else is doing X, but you're not doing that is considered to be the messaging lens of the invisible competitor, which is showing somebody a archetype, a visual of who their competitor is that they're wanting to be like or they're wanting to get the outcomes of. And with that, showing them what they're doing versus what the person you're speaking to is not doing. It's very effective. It needs to be done well. The goal is not to shame people by any means. The goal is really to ensure that person over here, let's just say I'm selling photography. The person over here has a great brand. They have incredible imagery. You feel like you see their stuff and you instantly know it's them. Like there's all these things that are calling you in with this person because of the way that they have their branding. But then we look at yours and we're not sure who you are and what you stand for and what your expertise are or any of these things. So because of that, this is where your business is versus where theirs is. They do a shoot once a quarter. You do yours maybe once a year, if that, once every couple years. This person over here is intentional about ensuring that their branding is consistent amongst all photography and all media they produce. You put up whatever feels good to you and just kind of are like, well, media is media, right? So it doesn't matter what category we're comparing. The goal is that we are comparing who is the person that you see that is getting the outcomes and momentum versus the individual that you're speaking to and where they're at with things. So the thing that we note is that overall, we've got the internal, we've got the external, right? So we've got the forward facing marketing, we've got the internal marketing to our existing clients. We've also got time specific triggers of why now is the moment. And we've also got emotional triggers of what's going to cause someone at this time of the year to be emotionally connected to what it is that you're selling. We also know that even if you want to just do the marketing messaging triggers, you can do that. But there's also 4 other ways to create urgency, which are to decrease the price of a discount, adding or increasing the price, limiting the spots available, or adding added value or bonuses. Now, with this, how do we put a bow on this? How do we wrap it all together to feel like we actually have a plan of how to take this and go attack Black Friday planning? Number 1, come up with an offer. Decide what exactly it is you're going to promote. What is going to be your promotion or your offering during that time? Now, again, it doesn't have to be a new offer. It just has to be a specific Black Friday offering that's not usually available the rest of the year. So pick from some of those urgency levers. Do you want to use some? Do you not want to use them? And from this, we'll use our triggers of messaging to help us to now build a plan into marketing. But the thing that everyone always asks me is like, well, how do I structure my marketing? Like, how do I build a Black Friday plan? How do I craft all this together? So here's what I will say is kind of like the 3 core buckets. Okay. You want to work backwards. So pick the week of Black Friday on your calendar. And that can either be the first or the second week of what we consider to be like your open cart, your solution time. For me, I personally typically open the week before Black Friday occurs. So I basically am like doors open the week before Black Friday and I end my promotion on Black Friday. So that will be like a 2-week span of the doors being open for what it is that we're promoting. The week before that, so like think about we're starting from Black Friday and we're working backwards. Okay. So you've got the week of Black Friday, the doors are open. The week before that, the doors are open. The week before that, so this is 3 weeks out from Black Friday, is what we consider to be an agitational week. Okay. So the agitational week is really where we are speaking specifically in our marketing to the mistakes that people are making and the myths that they're believing, where they're missing the mark. We do that to basically help people to see that what they're doing may not get them the outcome that they're looking for. So here's basically what we're going to help them to do the following week when we open our doors. The week before agitation is considered to be more of a problem aware week, which is speaking to the signs, the symptoms, the indicators that somebody has the problem that you're going to be selling in a couple weeks, right? So you really want to put out a lot of self diagnosing type of messaging. The weeks prior to that is what I consider to be teasing and testing, which is ensuring that you are teasing that something is coming, but you also should be testing messaging, testing media types, testing all different types of things that can get somebody activated to know what really triggers your audience the best, meaning activates them the best to get them to move. Because if you know that in the weeks prior, you're not guessing going into your Black Friday marketing, you kind of already know because you've been doing that marketing for a little while before that. So if I take it from the top and I'm going to go toward Black Friday, we're not going to go backwards anymore. We're going to go toward it. You're going to be teasing and testing for anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks. That's just kind of sprinkled throughout your marketing. You can sell other things during that time if you'd like. After that, we're going to go into problem aware for a week. Okay. So this is all signs, symptoms, and self diagnosing indicators that somebody has the problem that you're speaking to. We're then going to go into an agitation, which is talking a little bit about the mistakes, the myths, where people are missing the mark. And then we're going to go into what's considered our open cart time, which is 1 to 2 weeks of it is open, it's available, come get it. So, what I will say is Black Friday is not just for big business. It's not just for the big candle company that you're on the email list of. It's not just for Sephora. It's not just for all these big brands. It does not matter how big or small your business is. You can offer a Black Friday promotion to your audience. And the most important thing that allows a Black Friday promotion to be effective is to ensure that you have the right messaging with the right offer. So, a little bit of what we talked about today is launching, and we have separate episodes that are completely like dedicated to understanding launching. So if you don't know anything about launching, I highly recommend going to those episodes because they'll break down how to launch in general. But today specifically, we broke down what it means to activate people specifically during Black Friday. And with this, I will say all the clients that I've helped with this, and I have had so many Black Friday plans that I have made, this is really about, in my opinion, ensuring that what it is that you're offering is hitting the nail on the head with your audience. And with that, ensuring that the offer lands as well as the audience feels activated by it based off the messaging you're putting out. This is not a time where we're just looking to be like, I'm just going to market the way I always do. I'm just going to add a discount. It's not that simple. Black Friday is not just putting a sticker on something that's on sale and come get it. Yes, you might get a couple people who just were waiting for it to be decreased in price. And so they are using this as the opportunity now to buy. But the goal, if you want to have like a real knockout Black Friday, like I know there was 1 year that we did a Black Friday promotion, and I believe it was like $1 million in leads within like 2 weeks. And I was like, pardon? Because it was just the surge of traffic that came was because of our marketing. It wasn't based off the fact that I just slapped a sticker on it. It's like we created urgency, we created demand, we created interest, we created excitement in the marketing. And because of that, there was a lot of attention. If you just put something on discount, then the only reason that they're buying is because it's discounted. It's one of the fastest ways by doing that to cheapen your brand, and also with that to really not have the sales you're looking for. Just simply having something on discount on its own is not enough to knock out Black Friday. Will you get a couple sales? Maybe, but it's not really going to be something that I would say is going to blow your mind when it comes to how many sales it produces. So, with this, I really want to leave you with thinking, what is my Black Friday offering? Number one, am I going to partake in this? Two, do I want to offer something to existing clients or just my outward audience and kind of general marketing? Do I want to, with this, add a price going up? Are you offering a discount? Maybe there's something added value wise that you want to put in there. And I would also invite you to start drafting and getting together your marketing calendar of exactly what it is that you want to offer for Black Friday so that you can have the prep in your marketing. Last minute marketing for Black Friday is not, in my opinion, going to be effective because you want to remember that there's brands and businesses, even that I'm working with right now, who started their Black Friday consideration and thought process weeks ago. So if you are just now thinking about it, this is good, But you also want to take this as the invitation to say, let me get a plan in place so I can make sure that it's really intentional. So you're not scrambling last minute to whip up a post. And that's because when you do that, or you're whipping up an email, or you're just quickly putting something together, you're rushing, which means you typically will not be as focused on any of the strategy pieces we talked about today. And that's just because you strictly don't have time. So all this to say, I would love to know, what are you going to offer for Black Friday? Okay. So if you have any questions about today's episode, I know we kind of went a little bit meaty on the strategy side, but if you have any questions about today's episode, shoot me a DM, slide into my Instagram DMs. I would love to hear from you. And with this, what you're thinking for Black Friday. And with this being said, as a shameless plug, you will see that we are doing something for Black Friday, as we do every year. So if you are somebody who has been thinking about getting support, whether it is in a private coaching context, an intensive, our mastermind, whatever it may be, I really recommend to keep your eyes peeled for our Black Friday promotion. We typically have this outward facing in the month of November. But with that, I should also add that if and when people inquire in the little bit of time just before that, we also definitely want to make sure that anyone who does inquire prior to that also gets the same deal that we have going on for Black Friday. So with that, if you have any questions or you want to learn more about our Black Friday promotion, slide into my DMs, ask away. I'm happy to chat with you to see how I might be able to support you. With all that being said, I will see you on the next episode. As always, stay ambitious.